The wind stirred the leaves as disciples gathered near the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree. Ananda sat closest, his face troubled. Blessed One, why do we cling to feelings of inadequacy? Ananda asked, bowing low, his voice trembling slightly. The Buddha's gaze met Ananda's, deep and compassionate, as silence settled like dew around the gathering. Ananda, feelings of unworthiness arise when we misunderstand the nature of the self, Buddha said. His voice steady and calm. He pointed to a pond glistening in the distance, its surface reflecting trees, clouds, and the vast blue sky. He spoke with a trembling tone. Master, the path ahead feels shrouded in shadows. I fear I will falter. Buddha's eyes softened as he gestured toward the forest. Observe how the trees lean toward the light. Life, too, seeks clarity. He picked up a fallen leaf, cradling it in his hand. This deer flees, hides, and suffers unnecessarily, enslaved by its own misconceptions, he said, pausing as his disciples reflected. Similarly, humans fear their distorted self-images, mistaking them for truths, and carry unnecessary burdens, Buddha said compassionately. How do we break free from these misconceptions? Master? Ananda asked, his voice filled with yearning for clarity. The answer lies in understanding that worth does not depend on approval or rejection by others. Buddha explained, look at the lotus, blooming gracefully in the mud. It draws its strength from its inherent nature, not its surroundings, Buddha added. The disciples murmured softly, nodding as they contemplated the imagery of the lotus standing pure amidst the muddy waters. The world judges through the lens of its own illusions. But truth arises when one sees beyond this veil, Buddha said. Your worth is like a jewel, radiant beneath layers of dust and impervious to outside influence, Buddha stated calmly. The air grew still, the disciples' hearts resonating with Buddha's words like ripples across the surface of a silent lake. How can one uncover this truth within oneself? Blessed One? Kisa Gautami asked, her eyes filled with hope. First, seek stillness. Like a clear pond untouched by wind or debris, Buddha replied, his gaze steady and kind. When thoughts settle, the distorted images fade, revealing the jewel of your true essence, Buddha explained gracefully. Quiet the mind, observe the flow of your thoughts, and recognize their impermanence, Buddha advised, his voice unwavering. Just as ripples vanish when the wind stops, your self-doubt fades when clarity arises within, Buddha added. Buddha's hand moved to a nearby tree trunk. This tree bears scars from storms. Accept feedback as you might accept rain. It nourishes, but does not define the earth beneath, Buddha suggested. The disciples nodded, absorbing the wisdom and picturing the imagery of rain nurturing the fertile soil. Master, what role does compassion play in overcoming this struggle with worth? Sariputta inquired thoughtfully. Compassion for yourself is the foundation, Buddha replied, his voice carrying a deep sense of acceptance. View your flaws as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Each teaches lessons that guide you forward, Buddha encouraged. His disciples sat in quiet reflection, feeling the weight of their doubts begin to lift from their hearts. Understand that worth is not earned but inherent. Like the light of the sun illuminating without discrimination, Buddha stated. Allow this light to shine within, embracing it without resistance. As the lotus blooms despite its muddy roots, Buddha said. As he spoke, the rays of sunlight filtered through the leaves, bathing the gathering in golden light. The disciples felt a profound stillness take root within them. Like the lotus Buddha had so beautifully described, we must meditate on this truth. Master, Ananda declared, his voice now steady and filled with newfound resolve. Indeed, Ananda, Buddha replied, his gentle smile offering reassurance. Meditation unveils the jewel, uncovering the worth within us all. The quiet groves of Jetavana seemed to hum with the resonance of Buddha's timeless wisdom. That morning, Buddha's voice fell silent, yet his presence radiated the peace and compassion his disciples sought so deeply. Ananda bowed low, tears of gratitude streaming down his face, the weight of self-doubt beginning to dissolve within. As the disciples dispersed, they carried the seeds of Buddha's teachings to nurture within their hearts and minds. Each note weaves into the symphony of existence. The disciples joined him, marveling at nature's orchestra. An elder disciple, known for his wisdom, asked about the power of silence. Buddha turned toward him and answered, "Silence is the canvas where thoughts paint wisdom." Channa, you appear troubled. Share with us the weight that burdens your heart, Buddha invited. His voice calm and steady. Channa hesitated, his hands clasped tightly, then spoke, "Master, I feel trapped by my failures, unworthy of your teachings." The Buddha listened, his expression unchanged, his presence offering an unspoken reassurance to the agitated disciple. "Tell me, Channa, do you see that river flowing beside the grove?" Buddha asked, pointing toward its shimmering surface. Channa nodded, his gaze shifting to the water, its currents gentle yet constant, whispering to the stones beneath. "What do you see reflected in the river, Channa?" Buddha asked, his voice weaving effortlessly into the tranquil scene. "I see the trees, the sky, and myself," Channa replied, puzzled by the simplicity of his own observation. "Is the river any less itself because it carries these reflections?" Buddha asked, his tone soft but purposeful. "No, Master. The river flows regardless of what it mirrors," Channa responded, his curiosity beginning to unfold. "The self you believe unworthy is like a reflection, a fleeting image shaped by your fears and past," Buddha explained. Channa's brow furrowed as he sought to grasp the depth of Buddha's words. His breath growing more deliberate. "Observe the river, Channa. Its surface changes constantly, yet its essence remains the same," Buddha continued patiently. "Does the river judge its reflections, or does it simply allow them to pass without clinging?" Buddha asked. Channa shook his head, his lips parting as though to speak. But he remained silent, absorbing the question instead. "Like the river, your essence flows beyond the judgments of failure or success," Buddha said, his voice unwavering. The disciples murmured softly, their hearts touched by the poetic simplicity of Buddha's teaching, their eyes fixed on him. "But Master, how does one stop clinging to these reflections?" Channa asked, his voice tinged with desperation. "Clinging arises from misunderstanding the reflection as truth," Buddha replied, his gaze resting gently upon Channa's troubled face. "Still your mind, Channa, as the river stills in the absence of wind," Buddha advised, his tone inviting peace. "When the mind becomes calm, the reflections fade, leaving only clarity and truth," Buddha added, his eyes closing briefly. "How can I rise?" Buddha knelt beside him and touched the surface of the swamp water. "Your struggles are like this mud, Master. Does the river reflect only beauty, or does it hold the ugliness of the world too?" Channa asked. "The river reflects all without preference, yet it remains untainted," Buddha answered, his tone as steady as the earth. "The lotus blooms not by avoiding the mud, but by transforming through it," an elder disciple, known for his wisdom, asked. "Master, what nourishes the spirit when the world offers only darkness?" Buddha lifted a lotus, its petals glistening with dew, and said, "Darkness feeds the roots of transformation. Understanding this, Master, how should I approach my past failures and the shame they bring?" Channa asked earnestly. "The past is like the fallen leaves carried by the river. They flow onward and dissolve with time," Buddha said. "Cling not to what has already passed, for it is beyond your grasp," Buddha added, his gaze deep with compassion. "Instead, honor the lessons the river has carried to you. for they are the gifts of life itself, Buddha concluded. Channa bowed low, his trembling hands finding stillness as Buddha's teachings resonated deeply within his heart. The river nearby mirrored the rising sun, its surface rippling slightly, a reminder of the constant flow of existence. As the disciples meditated, they carried Buddha's wisdom within them like seeds waiting to bloom into understanding. The grove fell into a serene stillness, the Buddha's presence radiating calmness, guiding all to the essence of their being. Channa sat quietly, his eyes fixed on the river, his soul beginning to embrace the simplicity of its lesson. The reflections in the water danced with sunlight, unburdened by judgment, as the disciples found peace in Buddha's words. Another day, another teaching. Buddha gathered his disciples beneath the ancient tree, the afternoon sun casting long shadows around them. The stillness of the grove was broken only by the gentle hum of cicadas and the occasional rustling of leaves. Buddha's serene gaze rested on Kisa Gautami, who appeared contemplative, her brows knit together in quiet introspection. Master, I seek understanding, Kisa said, bowing low. How do we truly find the essence of worth within ourselves? Buddha nodded gently, acknowledging her question, his expression calm as a steady flame undisturbed by the wind. Tell me, Kisa Gautami, have you ever seen a jewel covered by layers of soil and dust? Buddha asked softly. Yes, Master, she replied, her voice firm yet tinged with curiosity about the direction of his inquiry. Does the jewel lose its radiance or value because it is hidden beneath the dust? Buddha questioned further. No, Master, the jewel remains unchanged, though its brilliance may be obscured, Kisa answered, her tone reflective. Indeed, Buddha said, his voice resonant like the sound of a temple bell. Your inner worth is like that jewel. The disciples leaned closer, their hearts attentive, as though the grove itself held its breath for Buddha's wisdom. Our minds often accumulate dust, fears, judgments, and desires that obscure the radiance of our true nature, Buddha explained patiently. How do we polish this jewel within ourselves, Master? Kisa asked, her earnestness apparent in her searching gaze. The first step, Kisa, is acknowledgement, Buddha said, his eyes soft with compassion as he addressed her deeply. Accept that the dust exists but does not define the jewel, just as challenges do not diminish your true nature, Buddha continued. Master, how does one begin this act of polishing, especially when life brings repeated storms of suffering? Kisa asked. Through mindfulness. Kisa, observe the storms without attachment, as the sky observes the clouds passing through it, Buddha advised. The sky is never diminished by the clouds, nor is your essence altered by transient suffering, Buddha added calmly. The disciples exchanged glances, the metaphor resonating within them as they imagined the infinite vastness of the open sky. But Master, how does one remain mindful in moments of overwhelming pain or self-doubt? Kisa asked, voice trembling slightly. Practice compassion toward yourself. Kisa, for harshness only adds more dust to the jewel, Buddha replied with gentle conviction. View your pain not as a punishment but as a teacher, guiding you to deeper understanding of yourself, Buddha said. Kisa nodded, her expression softening as Buddha's words began to soothe the ache she had carried within her heart. Its trials may seem insurmountable, but they hide treasures of insight. Persevere with courage. Be present in each moment, and clarity will illuminate the path of right conduct. The disciples nodded, understanding that mindfulness was not an escape but a way of engaging with life's challenges with awareness. Every time you choose kindness over fear, the jewel shines brighter, like the sun piercing through the morning mist, Buddha said. Each act of mindfulness, each moment of gratitude, polishes the jewel further, revealing the radiance that was always present, Buddha added. Master, what if the jewel feels lost? Buried beneath layers too thick for even mindfulness to penetrate? Kisa asked. Even when unseen. Kisa, the jewel remains within you. No layer of dust can destroy its existence, Buddha reassured her. Faith in this truth will guide you when the path feels dark and the burden heavy, Buddha continued softly. Kisa bowed deeply, her heart swelling with gratitude as Buddha's words brought clarity to the struggles she had endured. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, scattering golden fragments upon the ground, mirroring the jewel Buddha spoke of. Let these teachings be your lamp in the darkness, Kisa, illuminating the way back to your inherent worth, Buddha concluded. The disciples bowed in unison, their hearts brimming with resolve to uncover and nurture the jewels within themselves. The day waned, but the wisdom shared beneath the Bodhi tree lingered in the grove, as timeless as the jewel. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.